We are back again. It is, when recording this, it is Tuesday. We got some more updates on Forza Horizon 6. And this is basically going to be something that we have known is going to come to the game, and that is seasonal changes. But they are doing it a bit different. We're going to go through and check this stuff out. But I do want to mention that how they described it was basically that they worked over the game 4 times for each individual season, which is quite interesting. They're actually putting a lot of effort into that. What we can also check out after this is, as you guys mentioned as well, that the game feels very dead. And I can understand that, but at the same time, and with that, saying that the game feels dead is more so towards the fact that we don't have any cars on the roads, we don't have any people on the side of the roads, you know, that type of stuff. The thing is, they are teasing people. I'm not expecting it to be a fully alive game, you know, we're not talking GTA here, but they have in the trailer shown people on the sides, on like in houses and stuff like that, but I wouldn't expect anything crazy. Pretty much just some people here and there, you know. That's what I'm. Yeah, I accidentally. What the hell? Stop the recording. So yeah, we're back. We're back.
And that was kind of one of the big things we saw when we were doing our research,
and this was what I was talking about. So here you can see we do have people watching. I assume that this is inside a sort of event area, pretty much, since we have like these barriers, so you kind of close it off.
Pre-production, and we really wanted
some small cars, but here, for example, we can't really see. There are some people up here and stuff like that, but
the
I don't know.
Between seasons are so striking. We just wanted to make sure that we captured that authentically, and with that, the seasons are overtly different and quite distinct from past games.
Some of this stuff we have seen as well, have seen them talk about, where it's like, let's see if we can jump up.
Gum trees are green through horizon weather enters.
Want to see? Okay, yeah.
On the surrounding landscape.
So kind of what they talked about before, if we jump over to like the summertime, was that a lot of fields will look very different depending on where you are and which time you're there. Like, I want to say mowed fields, but you know what I mean, planted seed fields, sort of, if that makes sense.
I think an interesting thing as well is it represented both an opportunity and a challenge. So yeah, it was an opportunity to, from a visual perspective, do something with much more obvious visual contrast. So between seasons, you can really feel something that's very different from where you were the week prior. But also it's a challenge because when we think back to the lessons that we learned from the previous games, there were components of Horizon 4.
So I would say this, I've talked about this back and forth. I did play a fair amount of Forza Horizon 4. I did like the seasons. I did. But like the concept of having season, I liked that part, but I didn't really kind of click with the seasons in this game. So I'm kind of skeptical about this as well, but I'm really hoping, since it seems like they've put a lot more effort into it, I'm actually kind of excited for it.
Change relative to the other seasons as well. So particularly that was the roads. So you know, we made the decision to have the roads kind of covered in snow and ice. And that was somewhat based on the fun that we'd enjoyed with Blizzard Mountain on Horizon 3. And I think that was pretty fun at first, but I think as we found with time that players, they eventually started to grow a little bit tired of all the roads being covered in snow all the time. So we wanted to kind of learn from that and think, okay, how can we approach what is authentically Japanese?
So that is something apparently that people really enjoyed Blizzard Mountain in Forza Horizon 3. As you guys know, if you have watched that, we are currently playing through like Forza Horizon, not playing through, but playing Forza Horizon 1, 2, and 3, and we're currently on Forza Horizon 2. So at some point I will get over to Forza Horizon 3 and play that, because I haven't played that game yet. And kind of check that stuff out if we can.
Our version of Japan, yet also not penalised clear. So our asphalt roads, yeah, generally those are clear from snow. But
so I'm gonna skip through a bit and kind of talk about it, because what they're talking about here is basically the way people didn't like the way cars handled on in Forza Horizon 4, especially when there was snow. And what they're doing here is kind of going the authentic way. In Japan, they're always quite good on like plowing and clearing the roads, and like I don't know if they're salting them there or heating them, no idea. Either way, they're gonna keep the game very authentic in that spectra and have the roads cleared, stuff like that. If you then decide to go off-road, stuff like that, the roads aren't gonna be plowed during winter. Some might be, I don't know, but majority of them will be like off-road roads, pretty
if you
much.
start to venture off-road onto the gravel roads, the dirt roads, we keep a bit more snow on those. So if you're someone that's kind of seeking that, more rough and ready off-road feel, you're going to get that more authentic snow experience in winter.
So if you want to take your like rally car and rip it around, the off-road roads seem to be the good, like best place for that.
You're experiencing Blizzard Mountain again, and that's really cool. So up there, all the roads are covered in snow. You can throw on some snow tires, have a lot of fun, get in the off-roaders. If that's the experience you're looking for, you can find it there whatever the season. Yet if you're someone who doesn't really want to spend a lot of time on snow roads in winter, you're not going to have to go through that experience.
Playground explained that it wasn't that there was necessarily a drop-off in players every 4 weeks, but they were picking up on some general weariness with slippery winters.
I'm not sure whether the data really showed that, but it was definitely a sentiment that we saw when we were, working with our community team and looking at our forums and that kind of thing. Is there was a fatigue. Some people loved winter, and interestingly, it was kind of a surprise when we moved on to Horizon 5 that we actually saw this counter sentiment where people were saying, "Hey, kind of missed the snow. Like, where's the snow?" And yeah, it was there, but it was kind of confined to the top of the volcano because again, we were sort of grounded within the truth of the location that we built that time around. So yeah, I think the opportunity with Japan is it kind of allowed us to hopefully address both cohorts of players and kind of satisfy.
I do kind of like that though.
According to
having a mix of it.
Seasons are filled with tiny details players may not immediately notice. It'll be hard to miss the changing palette of Suzuki grass or Japan's iconic blossom trees in bloom, but
I want to see if we can get there were some screenshots as well. This looked really cool, like this view. I wonder if you can like drive up to some, not cabin, but where you have a fireplace up in the forest and you're like able to get a really good view from that point. It would be amazing if we can get some spots like that as well, where you can just view the map.
Yes, not the type of names.
Season
I want to see if we can get over to. I think these are some new.
You can see them and observe.
I mean, all of the places look really cool though.
Kind of one of those nice touches, and you can never hit them, but you could drive near them and then they scurry away, which is really nice.
I thought the detail that really surprised me when I heard it was the exhaust water vapor. You should speak to that a bit, Don, because I think that's.
This is really cool though. I really like this. It's such a small thing, but it's so cool. So I'm gonna let him explain this as well. But what they're kind of talking about is having temperature based data in the game, sort of. So what that means is when you start your car, I've had this a lot on the S5 since I've been cutting mufflers and stuff. Water that is in the exhaust, when it's colder outside and you start the car, it's almost like you're burning coolant, and that is very normal. but it is very cool that they're bringing that into this game. So whenever it's colder, it's gonna smoke a lot more on startups, and when it's a bit warm, it's gonna smoke less. Stuff like that. That such a small detail, but it's very cool. I didn't even think about them adding this, to be fair, but
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so one thing we really wanted to capture.
let's see.
Was,
Let's see how
we
he
wanted to teach
explains
the
it.
car as a living, breathing machine. And one of those touches was water vapor when it gets really cold. I remember growing up in Canada myself, that you just see that exhaust kind of just pouring out all that water vapor. And we wanted to capture that, just kind of sell that the car still is alive. And we represent that obviously in our winter season, in the Alpine region as well, throughout every season, but also in the colder hours of autumn and spring.
Another important element of Forza Horizon 6's Japanese seasons is the human component of those seasons, and Playground has made sure to integrate a variety of Japanese Matsuri, traditional Japanese celebrations and festivals, into the backdrop of the game.
That was an area that we really.
So I did see this, but this still doesn't explain if there are gonna be like sort of NPCs in the game.
Yeah, a lot of few of those.
Yeah, and there's so many local festivals in Japan. We couldn't do all of them, but we chose ones that are very, very, I guess, iconic to not only the Japanese, but the rest of the world. So yeah, in spring, you'll see Koinabari Carp celebrating Children's Day. In autumn, you'll see lantern festivals where lanterns are led up into the air and across rivers. In our summer, we have our kite festival.
Yep.
So you'll see people having kites up in the air. And then one of the little touches in there is we wanted to keep it driver, car related. So we have certain symbols on there that kind of relate back to car culture and the Forza Horizon world.
With the evolving world approach the team used to great effect in Forza Horizon 5, there's also an opportunity for Playground to look at doing more with this in the future.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So this was something that I kind of missed out on with Forza Horizon 5. At this point, when they started like this evolving world, sort of, I kind of had already left the game, sort of, so kind of missed out on that. But basically adding more events and like pretty much making the events as the events appear in real life is what I understand it as. Kind of interesting, kind of weird. I don't know how to feel about just that point, but still, there is the question about like NPCs. We have seen a couple of NPCs in this video, especially. What we're moving over to here is also the amount of tracks that we have. We do have 4 tracks that are gonna be time attack tracks and stuff like that, which is really cool. I think we're seeing 1 or 2 so far. And also moving over to this, where we can actually turn on the video. They're talking about the environment change.
Off-roader and you're cruising through that biome, it's going to feel very different. And consequently, if you do our kind of off-road or cross-country events where you're driving through that area, it's going to feel very different in the car as well. So, there's a level of depth that comes with that as well. You might find in the dry months, a kind of more traditional, slightly more road-focused vehicle might be more optimal there. But when these things are really saturated with water, you want something with big travel, big wheels that you can kind of wade through that water and have some fun. It definitely factors into the consideration that the team make. Ideally, we want to build our events where there's as much kind of versatility and usage within them. So ideally, they feel different, but they don't necessarily penalize you based on the season in which you're playing them. We want you to be able to go back and feel like you can experience something fresh. We don't want people to feel like, hey, I shouldn't go and do that event in that season because it's not going to be as fun. It should just feel different, I think. Yeah, that's the general ethos with them.
The Playground team has found
I think that's fair.
by returning to an environment with such drastic cosmetic changes from sea.
By the way, this is also a really cool thing. So I don't know if it's during spring or whatever, but the clouds tend to kind of move down into the valleys and kind of sit very low. So you are going to be able, I think this is going to be very, very cool in like Togi events and stuff like that. But basically you are going to be able to drive like, as you can see here, the road goes above the clouds, basically. So that is really cool.
Into season.
Japan has, in real life, 72 micro seasons. So, and with those micro seasons, there's like foliage changing, there's wildlife changes. And us kind of breaking that down into the kind of the 4 main ones was really exciting. Just capturing the most beautiful version of that season in the location. So yeah, it was super exciting. course, Japan, it's such striking differences between each season.
Here's some more
I
screenshots
know
as
our
well.
environment team were super excited to just jump on and kind of,
Pretty cool tunnel.
build this version of Japan that we have.
I feel like, you know, for the artists, it's just
Here you
a
can
bigger
see
palette to play with,
the fog is very
which
low.
for them is great.
I waffle between two. So spring, obviously, you get the iconic cherry blossoms, but I think autumn is my favorite season, just because of the amount of color and contrast of color that you get in that season. It also features a unique weather type that's new to this game called Nikai, which is a sea of clouds.
So it's in the
is
autumn then.
going to become my favorite season for this game.
I think I kind of waver around on any given day based on my mood. If I had to pick one, like, I'm always kind of drawn towards summer, but then I think particularly at this time of year when it's kind of cold outside, being able to jump into the game and see all those lush greens, you know, that kind of Ghibli-esque visual, it's just a really nice environment to spend time just cruising around and, you know, exploring the game world. So, but yeah, it's tricky. And you know, Don spoke about autumn there. I think
There is some mix between like old and new footage as well. So if there are any like houses or stuff we've already seen, you know, like this one as well, we kind of checked out.
Maybe a more kind of pleasant visual relative to that. But yeah, they've all got something unique to offer. Even when it comes to the small details like the snow, our environment team have really gone and kind of amped that up. You know, it's like small granules of snow, little snow banks. So there's more detail there relative to what we've been able to do on the previous games as well. So yeah, tough to choose for sure.
I will say though that this road that we just saw here, this looks very cool. I think this is by the ski resort as well, sort of. I'm not entirely sure. It could be completely different, but
yeah,
it looks very nice.
While the workload is high and it quadruples the amount of times the team needs to sit down
Clouds
and
are
review
very
and test the
detailed.
game in action, the team maintains the result is worth the effort.
It's a huge amount of work, and I think you know, it'd be safe to say a large proportion of that work falls on Don and our visual teams. It's the game world, making sure that visual is cohesive, trying to make sure that people don't have an obvious favorite where the world looks its best. You want all of them to be kind of singing and have their own unique moments that you're looking forward to, so that when you jump in the game week to week, like, you know, I'm going to go and check out, you know, the snowy off-road areas again, or, you know, I want to go and capture, you know, some glimpses of those Unkai clouds. To put it in really simple terms, if you went back to Horizon 3, where we just had one really strong visual palette with no seasonality, we would sit down, we would review the game, and we would look at it. What we now have.
They are mentioning a lot from Forza Horizon 3, which is kind of cool. Like I said, I still yet have to play, like, I've not played that game yet. That is the plan, to finish off with playing that game before Forza Horizon 6 releases. So if you guys want to see some Forza Horizon 2 and stuff like that, then by all means go and check it out. Getting it posted about like twice a week at this point, maybe 3 times. There's a very good mixture of videos currently, because we are getting consistent updates on this. We have Motorfest, we have Forza Horizon 2. Maybe I will do a couple more videos of Forza Horizon 1, which is also pretty cool. And then we'll be jumping over to Forza Horizon 3. So, with that said, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave your thoughts and comments down below about how you feel about the game currently. Also, we are gonna get we should get another update on more customization based stuff in later this week, probably Thursday or something. So should probably have a video posted on Friday, sort of, hopefully, if everything goes as planned. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, stuff like that. Thank you all. Have a good one.